world's digital nature has taught us many things we need to know about life, like, nowadays, you are able to state clearly if someone is already in love with you, before even having to talk to them. The sense of sight always has it all, as in all the signs and signals we can read concerning the nature lies within our soul-loving eyes. Hello Vibesers, it's another fun day that we've got to give you more videos. Today, we would like to let you be aware of the signs that a man shows when interested in you without having to say it out. You see, most of the time you've heard of signs of interest between two people, but in most cases, many writers tend to write more on signs a lady loves you, but we do forget that also men are human beings, and they are not perfect enough, thus they also show some signs. Welcome to Colina Vid, the place where future successful people come to feel at home. Today we are looking at 10 signs a man is in love with you but don't say. Stay close until the end of the video. If not subscribed yet, you are missing out. Hit the subscribe button and change the bell setting to all. Number 1. Staring at you. This is always the most obvious sign that a man is in love with you before you two even have that courage to tell the interests to each other. As we said earlier that the eyes have it all. Have you ever noticed that you cannot find it easy to lie to someone you're interested in, is because the eyes will always betray you. Reading someone's eyes is always something regarded professional, but nowadays, it has degenerated into a piece of sweet to chew so easy. Everybody tends to know how to study the eyes of their opponents. Having said all that, it is much clearer to note the one guy who is interested in you but sometimes won't be able to say due to maybe shyness or lack of confidence. So always be on the lookout for such a sign in men. Number 2. Makes eye contact. This is another one that is interesting. It is somehow connected to our first point, but with a bit of a difference. Instead of just looking at you, whenever you two are closer to one another, he tends to keep eye contact. That is, he looks directly into your eyes. A problem comes when you also, as a girl, is shy. You won't be able to notice as easily. To be clear on these signs, you must be so sure with the way your eyes tend to view things around in order to avoid unnecessary assumptions. This means that you might be assuming something that maybe to the man, you are making wrong conclusions. He might be too confused. That's why we say, you need to be clear in your study. Number 3. Dilation of the eye pupils. A man who likes you will tend to have wider eye pupils when looking at you because, to him, you are surprised that he is so much interested in. Have you ever been in a situation where you are surprised about something? Whatever rings in your mind tend to be the same with that which rings in this man's mind every time on seeing you. You will find that reading a woman's signs in love tends to be easier compared to the case in men. Maybe it's ladies are poor at reading signs if we may guess right. Number 4. He angle his face towards you. There is always a kind of amazing feeling when you watch your favorite movie. You always tend to be glued to it and not just a simple distraction manages to confuse your mind. So it is when a man is deeply in love with you, he tends to be concentrated with you and your actions. Many men find it hard to even talk to their crush, since now you know, you should be in the front line to note the signs even before he gathers whole confidence of approaching you. The big problem with men sometimes is that the way he rates your beauty determines the possibility of him approaching you. Some thinks you are unapproachable, hence the need for you to know these signs to save him from much vaden. Number 5. He leans in when you speak. Sometimes it becomes interesting when you speak and someone tends to bring closer their ears to you. It shows some bit of interest that he/she has towards you. Such a sign is so obvious in men than in women, it some kind of tends to show you that he is really into whatever you want to say. Nowadays, the world's so digital that it is rare for you to notice such a sign since the availability of the so-called mobile phones does almost 80% of the conversation. What men crave for is to get the phone number, and they will be done with it, making our idea improving these signs difficult. However, don't worry because the remaining 20% is enough for you to prove everything. Number 6. He mirrors you. This is another amazing behavior in the human kingdom. Have you ever noticed sometimes that what you do resembles what the other person does and asked yourself why? It seems like you two are connected in a way that you tend to be controlled by the same brain. If yes, then let us explain. In men, there is always nothing amazing like having a crush that you are completely into with your entire mind. Your body tends to mirror what the crush does even if you are yet not together still. Be on the lookout to clearly note such a sign that reveals how a man is interested. Also, to add, if your does not show these signs, then think twice, he might not be interested in you. Number 7. He acts differently around you. Nobody is always willing to let you know if they have bad characters, especially if it's issues to do with the nature of love. Man knows how to play their cards right, and it's because they knows clearly that one step mistake, you will dismiss them in a form they describe as rejection. But to assure you, a man who is truly in love with you knows not how to play these cards. They are really loyal, not that they are hiding their characters, but because he wants you to realize the degree of feeling he has towards you. This feeling do not allow them to act hypocritical, as you may say. It ensures that he acts better, that you will be not in hesitation to give back your love in return. Number 8. He gets shifty. To all the men, talking with your woman for the first time becomes a challenge because you normally grow nervous. First, to be clear on this, some men think that it is a weakness that affects you individually. From today, you should not worry, because we want you to know that this is something normal. Back to business. You must have noticed that men gathers a lot of courage and confidence to be able to approach. It takes some time. A man in love do not stand still when talking to you. He is always uncomfortable with his hands and legs. He seems to be dancing to a rhythm that only him tends to listen to. As a lady, do not mistake in judging him wrong. Just know that the problem is him in love. Number 9. He doesn't check his phone. Using your phone keeps you busy, and so it is to men. When a man is truly into you, he gets it hard to even get to concentrate on other things such as phones. They only get to touch it after an agreement that you are to exchange phone numbers. This also is something that shows the level of respect and time your man is able to offer you in a nutshell without having to concentrate on other things around. A few ladies are always into discovering this. You might think that he may not have a phone, not knowing that he is avoiding the phone for your case. Number 10. He stands close. Hey, watch this. A man in love with you will always try to stand close to you, something that some ladies may rate to be insecure. During a conversation, there is a certain distance away that you should maintain. To men who likes you, this rule may not be applicable, since they tend to concentrate their conversation with you, and try harder to avoid neighbors from also being engaged or listening to what the two of you are speaking or talking about. For a normal conversation, the distance between the two parties may rely at 50 centimeters away. Talk of the closest to our case. It might be reduced to even 10 centimeters depending on the level of the relationship. And now, visors, there are many signs that show a man is in love with you. Since we did mention just a few, what are other signs you know of? Feel free to put them down in the comments below. For staying with us up to this point, you get a bonus, and without wasting time, enjoy your bonus. Number 11. He is super helpful. A guy who is in love with you do not find it easy to watch you struggle with something he knows very well he can help you do. He will try to show signs that he is ready to offer any help you might be craving for. The problem is, not only ladies accept this offer, they always tend to disgrace the offer, thinking they are into some kind of insecure situation. If in case you have been wondering about the signs you to look for if a man is in love with you, we've got you covered. This has been Colina Vid, all the time. We appreciate you for watching our video. Feel free to subscribe to our channel. We have videos that you can also watch to get you learning.